All right, so back on the Country Coach again. We got the batteries redone, we got the entry door done, but there's way more projects than that still to do on this thing. So today's project that we're gonna start trying to work on has to do with the dash air. Now, when we bought the motorhome, the very first thing the salesman told us when we hopped in and cranked it up was, oh, the dash air don't work, and they never do, so don't even worry about it. Well, I don't like that kind of outcome. I want everything on our motorhome to work correctly, so I started delving into the dash air, trying to figure out exactly why it didn't work. I mean, all the blower and everything works like that, it just won't never get cold, which I'm learning is a very common thing with dash air units in the motorhomes. And all it really is just the equivalent of what your car AC is. It just runs off the engine with a compressor and it makes it cold up front. So again, the salesman's response was just run the generator and the roof airs, you'll be much happier with that anyways. Well, that's not entirely true either. So when you get to driving down the road in this gigantic cinder block right here, with this, let me walk around here to the front right here. With this huge microwave oven right here barreling into the sunshine, it gets upwards of well over 90 degrees up here in the front cockpit, even when both roof airs are on. I guess it has to do with just air circulation through the coach in general, because no, they're not airtight. So when we're traveling down the road, I don't know if just the hot air in the front just keeps it to the back, because if we stop for about 30-45 minutes, it cools off right in the front exactly like it's supposed to. But I want to try to get it fixed, so let's walk around to the back of the coach and I'll show you what I actually found wrong with it. All right, so we're just going to hop in here to the engine compartment, which now our whole entire floor comes out in our back bedroom right here. So once I get to really working on it, I'll just pop the bed up and take the whole floor out. Access to this engine is absolutely fantastic in this Country Coach with the Cummins on it. I mean, I can sit right here on top of the valve cover with the engine access cover up. But for right now, I'm just going to walk in here through the back and show you, because it's really, really simple to figure out what was wrong with this thing once we got to looking. What we noticed was we would turn the AC on, we would come back here, and of course the compressor wasn't running at all. It's not locked up or anything, so it seems to be fine. I've checked the clutch and it energizes just like it's supposed to, but it has 0 Freon in it. And once I got to really digging around and trying to figure out why it had all leaked out, well, it became real apparent really quick. This is right here, our AC line. Kind of hard to see, I know, that connects to the compressor. The end is broke off. That's really all that's wrong with it initially. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to find some more stuff. Obviously, I'm going to have to replace the dryer and all that stuff, because it's just been sitting back here. But this line actually hooks up to the AC compressor right here, and it just goes right in there just like that. It's just the end is broke off. These can be replaced. I got on Amazon again and I ordered the hydraulic crimping tool to replace the ends on these things, and you can actually get these off. I'm sorry, let me get back to that. You can actually get these ends off of here. We're just going to take the cutoff tool, we'll split this aluminum collar a couple places and peel it open, and then we can actually we can actually get the fitting back out of the hose. There's nothing wrong with the hose. It's very soft, it's very pliable. So anyway, I'm going to start out with just getting a new end crimped on there. Let me back out of here. It's kind of tight quarters up in there. Anyway, I'm going to start out with just getting a new end crimped on there and get the AC sealed up like it's supposed to be. I have a vacuum pump, I have AC gauges and all that stuff in the shop, so we'll pull a vacuum down on it and see if it holds. If it holds, great. We'll take it, we'll flush the whole system out. Robert, my buddy that always helps me work on the motorhome, man, I don't know what I'd do without him, but certified HVAC tech. Anyway, he's got all the equipment also, so we can actually flush the whole entire system out. I will find the part number right here for a new dryer. We'll go ahead and replace the dryer. And after we get it all washed out, we'll charge it with oil. We'll pull a vacuum back on it, make sure it still holds again. We'll charge it with oil, and we'll recharge the AC and see if we can't get it working. I just really don't think there's anything majorly wrong with it. I mean, if it doesn't have any Freon in it, it's not going to work. So Let me start out by, let's get the hose fixed and, well, we'll see what happens from there. All right, so we reached up in there and we took the nut off of the line onto the compressor, and see right there, that's what it is right there. The end is, it just broke off the line. So I don't think this is gonna be a very hard fix to get the line repaired. I mean, you can buy these replacement ends. They even sell them through O'Reilly's Auto Parts. You can get them online. Plenty of AC repair facilities, automotive online that you can buy these from. You can even get them off of Amazon. So we're just gonna try to buy a new, we need a new 90-degree high pressure feeding with the fill port in it. We'll gauge the hose and make sure we get the proper size. I think it's just 5/8 hose. So anyway, that's it. So anyway, let me get the searching online and see if we can get a replacement end in, and we'll get it crimped on the hose. Hey guys, this seemed like a very good time to stop the video and talk about something very important, and that is the sponsor of today's video. So the sponsor of today's video is this and me. There are no sponsors here, guys. There are no product endorsements, no money donated to us, nothing giving to us for free. We pay for everything that we use and review and talk to you guys about right here out of this. So I guess today's sponsor of this video would be called Work. We work a lot to put these videos out, and they do get very expensive. The cameras, the video editing software, and everything like that. And I see all these big giant mega channels out there always talking about the sponsor of today's video, because they get money and they get endorsements from those people to help pay for the things that they use. We do not. We pay for the stuff out of our own pockets from very, very hard work, so that maybe you guys can learn from our mistakes and help you save some time and money. And we've made plenty of mistakes. That is true. We will never argue that. There's no sponsors or anything like that. So today's sponsor is me and my checkbook. If we use something and we like it, we're going to talk about it and we're going to tell you about it. If we use something and it sucks, we're going to tell you about it so that you don't make the mistake and do the stuff that we did. Another thing that cracks me up a lot is I get a lot of comments from videos that are like going on 2 years old now, where people are like, apparently you don't know what you're doing. You really just need to take your vehicle to a professional. Well, while we use a checkbook for everything we do, we are not checkbook warriors. We don't run to the nearest person anytime something goes wrong. We do what is called continuing education. We learn from our mistakes, we learn, we research, we look up things, and we talk to other people, and we do a lot of research. I've said research over and over and over, and that's what it's all about. Continuing education, learning from our mistakes. So no, we're not professionals. No, we don't know how to do everything absolutely correctly, but what we do know how to do is learn. So this is an important part to you guys. Today's sponsor, Work and continuing education. Don't necessarily put yourself in a situation where every time something goes wrong, you need to run down the road, pop out your checkbook, pay somebody to do something that you can learn how to do yourself and save a lot of money. So I just wanted to take that time to thank today's sponsor, myself. Thank you very much, and we will see you guys out there on the next one. All right, so one more little tidbit about the AC lines that they use on here, but if you go and start trying to repair these, there are two different size lines for 1/2 inch, for 5/8, so on. There are two different sizes. There is what they call a standard 1/2 inch line, and then there's what they call which is number 10, all right? And then there's what they call a number 10 SRB, which is a reduced barrier. Same size, 1/2 inch ID, but what the difference is, the standard hose is a lot thicker, bigger around. The reduced barrier hose is a lot smaller. It still has the same ID, 1/2 inch. It's still number 10, but the larger hose is number 10 standard. The smaller hose is number 10 SRB. So a little bit of a tidbit for you. That's what the difference is between standard AC line and SRB, or reduced barrier. Okay, so I'm going to try to demonstrate that for you again here, the difference between the standard and the reduced barrier with my actual crimping tool here. So let me grab the number 10 dies out of here and the number 10 SRB, which is the reduced barrier. So if you put these together, essentially it's going to crimp just like that, okay? So that is the standard number 10 1/2 inch line, okay? Try to get a perspective here with color so you can see how big around the die is. So now I'm going to do the same thing with the reduced barrier line. Remember, it's still a 1/2 inch line, but it is a reduced barrier. And when I put these together and get them down here, you'll notice that the hole is much smaller. And that is because it is the reduced barrier hose. The hose is a lot smaller in OD, still the same ID 1/2 inch, but that's the difference. So this is a number 10 SRB, and this is a number 10 standard. Let me see, I'll try to match those up there for you. Weird angles going on here. Kind of hard to see. You'll notice the jaws on the yellow one are a lot thinner than the jaws on the red one. Reduced barrier, standard. That's it. Lesson over. All right, so we're going to continue with our little Country Coach dash air project here today. I've tried to make it kind of a mission to make everything in the motorhome work like it's supposed to, and one of those pet peeves was the dash air. And again, when we bought the motorhome, the salesman said right off the get-go, dash air doesn't work, don't worry about it, they never do. I just don't buy that crap anymore, guys. Everything should work right. And I've got the engine cover off here in the back bedroom, and as you can see, ours is very accessible to get to everything on the engine from up here, and my God, is it dirty. I got to get this thing washed. But anyway, continuing along, I will say right off the get-go that I made a mistake. Oh my God, no. I make mistakes all the time, guys. I misidentified the size of the hose. I originally thought it was a number 10 reduced barrier, and it turns out that that is incorrect. I have since gotten the correct fitting here, which is actually a number 8 reduced barrier. Now, the difference with that being is the tubing size on here, you can see where it's broke off. This is 13/32 tubing actually, and I misidentified that as being 1/2 inch. And well, if you do the math, that's not very much difference. I did order the original fitting that I got in that was incorrect from Affordable Street Rods. Look them up. I will put their information here on the screen somewhere. Affordable Street Rods. Super nice people to talk to. They have all of these AC fittings, couplers, hosing, everything in stock there. And when I called the gentleman up and I said, hey, I'm an idiot, I made a mistake. He started laughing. He said, man, don't worry about it. He goes, what do you actually need? And I said, as best I can tell, it is a number 8 reduced barrier. And he helped me try to identify, because all we have to work off of is dimensions. There's no markings on this hose anywhere that I can find. And well, it's one hose all the way down the coach. So he helped me measure. We measured tubing size, compared it. And anyways, number 8. With the fill port. So we finally got the right fitting in. It does fit. Let me get it down here. It does fit the compressor correctly, just like that. Screws on there just like it's supposed to. So we should be in business now. But I do have one more problem that I've found already. Actually, is right here on the very end. It's going to be really hard to show you. Let me get down here. Yeah, I really can't see it, but the ring land for the O-ring is actually damaged. Let me get some light down in there. Man, this is hard to do. So shine a little light down in here. See if I can show it to you again. Right here. As you can see, the ring land for the O-ring is actually kind of damaged as well. I may be able to fix it. I don't know. I'm just going to have to get it off. Fortunately, these fittings right here also come off the back of the compressor. They are replaceable. I can buy one of these new if I need to. I'm going to try to fix this one first, but if we can't, no big deal. But anyway, continuing along. So today, I'm going to go ahead and get this hose off so we can get this fitting off here and see if maybe I can repair that, or if we just have to order a new one. That's a good sign. Still got oil in it. Well, not knowing for sure, but no telling what all we're going to find wrong with this project here. But anyway, that is the fitting. As you can see, they come off. You can buy these. Anyway, we're going to see if we can't fix it first, and if we can't, well, we'll get a new one. All right, so once we got it out and got it all cleaned up, it really wasn't worth trying to fix. So by the time we would grind all that down to get the broken piece out, recut the threads, we would have had to recut the ringland inside for the new O-ring to sit down in properly. Well, we would have been running out of material down here where the threads are. So we're going to give up on that. So the easiest thing to do really at this point in time is to go 1, 2, 3. And voila, just like that, we have a new block. Now, we just turned to affordable street rods again. I'm telling you, they have everything in stock for these ACs. So anyway, we just bought a new block here. It's just a General Motors block. Fits on the back of it just fine. It's got the correct size lines. Came with all new O-rings. This is a multi-use type piece, so it can take either O-rings or the flat face seals or press-in seals. Whatever your compressor is designed for, this will accommodate it. So we're going to get this put back on, and we will go ahead and get the hose cut, get the new fitting crimped on the end of it, and we'll get everything sealed back up so that we can check and see if it'll hold a vacuum. There's no reason to buy anything else if it's not going to hold a vacuum, so that we can start trying to hunt out leaks and everything like that. But anyway, we're going to get all this put back together and see what happens. All right, I know the inspector is always on duty. Is it okay? Hey, where are you going? Come here. We're working down here. Yeah, got to make sure everything is okay right there. Okay, all's good? Okie dokie. Boss says it's okay. I did forget to mention that the new piece being billet is way more robust than the old one was. As you'll notice, it's a lot thicker than this one is. So we are going to have to go get a new bolt, which is longer because, well, this one don't fit anymore. Easy peasy. Remember, folks, that's just a flat-faced O-ring seal. You do not have to bury this as tight as you can absolutely get it. That's not what's sealing it. The face of the O-ring is what is sealing it. Once that O-ring makes contact and you slightly tighten this and it pushes the O-ring into that groove, it's sealed. You don't have to bottom the threads out. Okay, now let's see what we can do about this dude. Should have plenty of hose. So we're just gonna cut it off. Just like that. Fits like a glove. We have to be sure and get it clocked somewhat right, so when we lay it back down in there, it matches up, so we don't have to twist on the hose and everything. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just making sure it's kind of clocked right. Pretty darn good. Just like that. All right, let's break out this super duper handy dandy tool. Crimp these dudes down. Everything is so dirty. That was a number 8. There we go, just like that. Just check it and make sure that it got good crimp all the way around it. Every single side of it has got good crimp on it. There we go, just like that. Super easy to put your own fittings on. All right, so I understand this isn't something that everybody would have necessarily laying around, and to truth be told is I bought this to work on the motorhome with. But keep in mind, no, it's not something that I'm going to use very often. However, I have it now, so I have a lot of vehicles. But anyways, the cost of this tool was so cheap that you got to keep in mind the cost of buying this line and the trouble to try and replace it. I don't even know how you would even do it. This line runs all the way down the length of the motorhome up to the front, right? So the cost of that, or taking this and having it fixed somewhere, that just saved me thousands of dollars, literally, just to buy the tool. If I only use it one time and turn around and sell it again, I have literally saved myself thousands from taking this to a dealership and being ripped off to have it worked on. It's another really stormy day here in Texas. We've got some bad weather coming. Today is Saturday. They're saying tomorrow, Sunday, moving into Monday early morning hours. I can already tell. I mean, it's super windy outside already, but just another stormy day. Get us a new O-ring put on here, which the fitting came with all new O-rings and everything. Man, I'm telling you, I can't give enough shout out to them guys at Affordable Street Rods. I mean, they are such a pleasure to work with. Even when it was my mistake, they were still trying to help me get it all situated. So we're just gonna get this one put back on. Be sure we got plenty of room down here. We don't want it to rub on anything. This hose is super thick for a reason. Get this one snugged up. There we go. Alrighty, well, that part is at least sealed up. I know we're going to have to replace the dryer once we really get into, you know, making the AC work, like charging it and stuff like that. But I didn't see any reason right now to go ahead and purchase a dryer initially, because we're going to have to make sure this thing even holds, will hold a vacuum first, because there's no telling what kind of leaks we may have. But anyway, we're to the point now. We're going to get the AC gauges out and the vacuum pump, and we'll get everything hooked up, and we'll start pulling a vacuum on it and see if it's going to hold. All right, so we'll just let it run for about 10 minutes and see what happens. I know the gauges are probably not the most accurate thing in the world, but I mean, we're already down to about 28 inches. So we'll just leave her be for a little bit and we'll come back and check on it. Alrighty, so we turned the pump off and we're just gonna let it sit here now and see what happens. It's right at about 29 inches. All right, so it's been an hour. Well, plenty of time, but anyways, it's been an hour since we pulled the vacuum down on it, so let's get back here and see what it's doing. Get some lights turned on. One more. Alrighty, moment of truth. Let's see. Oh yeah. Still holding 30. Well, I could say the gauge is probably a little bit off, but 29 inches. Man, that's a lucky break right there. So, system seems to be intact. So I guess now it's time to, we'll get the dryer off and see if we can identify what kind of conglomeration was used for that. And we'll get one of those ordered. We'll get the dryer changed out. Pull the vacuum down again. We'll recharge her with oil and see what happens. So stay tuned. I'll get a dryer coming and we will revisit this subject. And with what seems like only a matter of mere seconds, actually has been about 2 weeks, guys. As you can see, we got the new dryer in. I ordered the dryer. I had it in just a couple of days. Again, Affordable Street Rods, awesome place to get stuff from. I didn't really film putting it in. There's not anything special about it. It's literally 2 lines. That's it. You loosen 2 lines, you take the pressure switch off, boop, take the dryer out, put a new one in, tighten it back up. Nothing to see there. What was very interesting though is, well, not interesting, fantastic. The old dryer that was on here, when I cracked the lines loose, it literally, you could hear it. It was still under a vacuum. It's been sitting here for 2 weeks. That is fantastic. That means that our system is completely intact, no leaks at all. 2 weeks under a vacuum. That is absolutely incredible. Anyways, now it's really nothing else but pulling a vacuum on the system again. If we do have a leak for some reason now, it is very easy to track it down. It can only be in one of 3 places. So that makes it a lot easier. Anyways, we're going to get a vacuum pulled on it again. We'll let it sit. Make sure it holds vacuum again. We will put an oil charge in it. Oh no, I'm sorry. We will not. We are going to test it for leaks, and then we are actually going to flush this whole entire system. My buddy Robert's got all the equipment to do that. We're going to crack the lines loose again from the AC compressor. We'll hook up, we'll blow all the way through the whole entire system. We'll come back out, clean it all out, make sure there's no debris in there or anything like that. Which so far, everything that I've taken out has been clean. I've seen no signs of metal. There's actually still oil in the dryer. There was oil in the compressor lines, as you can remember when we took it off. So that looks absolutely fantastic. I'm really not worried about anything, judging from what we've seen. I mean, literally the whole entire problem was just started from a broken line. So the system was probably working fine before that. But anyway, we'll get a vacuum, make sure it holds, flush it out, hook it back up, pull the vacuum again, make sure it holds, and then it is on to oil charge and Freon. All right, well, it's the next day. We hooked the gauges up and it was still holding a vacuum, so I guess I'm going to be safe to say that that is going to be all right. So we're going to see if we can't get some Freon in this thing, and well, let's see if it works or not. We still don't know whether the compressor is maybe broke internally or not. I mean, it spins, it's not locked up or anything like that, but we're not going to know until we start trying to get some Freon in it. So let's see what happens. Well, unfortunately, that answers that. Compressor is garbage. I'm assuming it's probably broke internally. There's nothing wrong with the clutch. It spins freely. I mean, not like freely, but it spins, so it's not locked up. So I'm assuming that it is locked up internally. It has probably broken the shaft that drives the little, it's just a piston type pump in there. They just move back and forth, but I'm assuming it's probably broke the shaft in there, and it won't do squat. The pressures just stay equalized all the time. Even when the clutch engages, it never changes the pressure. So pretty much answers that. Compressor is garbage. So we'll get it off. We'll start hunting for a compressor and we will get it changed out.